gonna basically show you everything you need to start doing iPhone refurbishing. If you're not doing it, you should do it. Really not that big of an investment for a shop. There's no reason why you would not want to do it. So basically just testing this to show everyone that this screen works. Before we start, kind of everything you're going to need to refurbish. So no spots on the screen, boots up fine. So the first thing I'm going to do is put some tape over the screen that basically laminates the glass. So just a couple pieces of tape like this. That. And then you're going to need a hot knife. Something with a blade that's hot that can cut through like plastic. How I like to do it on the iPhone 6 is to take this like that, right up against the frame, and cut downward, like that. And then on this side, it's harder to cut down on this side, so I kind of just go like this. After that kind of snap, you'll know that you went through the plastic. And bring it around again and just get into the groove. And go back and forth a little bit like that. Then it'll come off when you pull off the frame. I'll show you how to do that in a second. You have to cut the top corners too, so don't forget to do that. You don't want to cut both corners right at the top. Don't get into the LCD, cut like right there. So, on both sides. So this one we're going to do the same spot. We'll go over all the equipment needed to do this. We do multiples every day in our shop. We're doing them for other shops now. And if you're not doing it, you need to be, because as we all know, Apple likes to screw us over like they did with the 6S and make the aftermarkets not work for like a week. So I'm gonna put this on here. This is basically like the glass slash frame separator. Get my light over here. Don't leave it on the heat very long. We set our temperature at 70. Right here's the suction on this model. Press down on it and it usually suctions pretty well. You can kind of push the screen back and forth, kind of feel that it's suctioned. You need a pair of cutters for the frame. So whenever this feels almost too hot to touch, about 30 to 40 seconds, you can start pulling the frame off. So take your cutters and go out straight. Don't go down or up. It should come right off. See, like it just did? Boom. This side, pull. If it doesn't all come off at once, which that one did, you'll have to take a razor blade and clean the sides. So now you want to take your razor blade. There's glue on the sides of the frames. So you want to take and go and cut some of that glue. It's easier to get, you'll see why in a minute, it's easier to get the wire under there to cut through the, and be careful here that you're not getting into your LCD. You're just cutting the glue off the frame here. So see all that glue? So it's harder to get your wire through there if you're in that glue. So take, from this one we're obviously going to go, we're going to go from the bottom with your wire. So take this, put it down on your suction, hit your suction button, press top and bottom again, press down firm, make sure it's suctioned, kind of tap the screen back and forth like that. It's suctioned good. Take your wire. With the 6 you don't need a ton of heat, so don't leave it on there that long. Plus you can leave heat marks in the screen if you're doing it too much. So take this, press down real hard here at the start, and you get in like that, and then go back and forth straight like that. So with the 6, sometimes it doesn't, you got to go back like a couple times to get like the LCD off. So you can kind of feel it separate or break away from the glue. When you feel that, you can remove this, turn the suction off, see if you can if it breaks away. Kind of lift off. It's kind of hot, so be careful not to flex your LCD at all. But you kind of just pull it away from the glue, and there's your screen. So at this point, especially if you're new to this, you want to test your screen to make sure you're not going forward with a screen that you might have had an accident with from doing some of this. The 6 is a little harder, has a lot of glue than some of the newer ones. If you can do the 6s, the 7s will be easy. 7, 7 plus. They're all done in a similar way though. So, as you can see, we still got a good screen. No marks. It's not broken. So, we're done with taking off the glass. The next step is you're going to have to remove the polarizer. So you're going to need a polarizer removing machine and then the frames. So for the 6, this is it. And to be careful with this, you want to take your LCD and get right the corner. But there's a trick, like you just got to get right on the polarizer like that versus not under the actual LCD. So, and then when you're in a little bit with ours, you have to go in a little bit deeper. So, and then turn it, like rotate it. Now I'm in deep enough so I can pull back this, lay this down, put your cords there. These frames we have are actually pretty nice. I can show you how to get these frames if you want to get these. And these machines we have. We went through some trial and error on the machines. I think we definitely have some of the best out there now. At first we did not. We listened to someone else who didn't give us the best advice on this. So then once you get that, pull left or right, and it just comes right off. See that? So then you're going to take your LCD, and I like to clean it in a frame, so let's turn our clean room on. We're going to need that in a minute. And this is the iPhone 6 frame. So you're going to need frames as well, obviously. Kind of holds everything in place, so lay it down in there. It kind of fits perfectly so that it doesn't move around at all. You're going to need this to put the glass on, but we use this to remove the glue. So you're going to need clean room cloths. We'll go over everything while this is in the enclave, like everything you're going to need, and kind of price range maybe of what you think, of what I think everything costs, if I remember correctly. So, did you get started? Okay. All right. So this is called 8222. It's a polarizer remover. You lay your the cleaning room cloths over the top, and that's so that the liquid from this doesn't get through to the backlight, because you'll get like watermarks on your backlight if you don't use these cloths. Also, I highly recommend using gloves. This stuff is very toxic. We don't really know what's in it. It comes from China. I also recommend a tabletop like fume extractor, just kind of to get all the fumes, so you're not breathing all that stuff in. Let it set for a minute maybe. You can tap it a little bit, pat it down, and it pulls the glue right up. It's a pretty easy way to get the glue off. And just let it set for a little bit. Kind of go back and forth with your finger like that, and looks like we'll need a little bit more. All you have to do is take this and put a little more on here and go back and forth like that. Get to the corner. Make sure you get the corners really clean, because if you don't get the corners really clean, what happens is you get a bubble in the corner. And that bubble, corner bubbles, I've noticed, are like, they just don't come out, And obviously, you're wasting a screen, you're wasting your glass, you're wasting your time, and all of that's not good. So, let's get all this glue off. I'm going to pause it for a second. So just take a little bit more of this and get all the glue off. You want all the glue. You do not want any glue because it's going to leave bubbles and it's going to, your glass isn't going to reattach. And if I would have left this on there a little longer, this glue would have came up easier. But I'm making a video, so I was trying to make it go a little quicker for this part, but that's what you want to do. So this corner, like you want to make sure you really get these corners. See how that's not coming up? Just use a little bit more. It will come. You can also just lift up a little bit and touch the corner if you need to, like that. Just be careful because it won't. It's like trying not to crack an eggshell at times because it's very. So you got a little bit more here. You could always have to take it over to your clean room and you look under it, and you're looking under it and you see a little bit more glue. You could always just come right back over and touch it up a little. So cleaning is the most important part probably of the whole process, because if you don't clean properly, then the glass doesn't adhere right. So you want to make sure you clean and you get no dust, nothing. So we're going to move over to the clean room now. This is the next step. After we're done here, we attach the glass and then it goes in the machine. We do not use the polarizer machine. I know that's what it looks like here, but this thing, don't waste your money. Buy the 4-in-1s. With the polarizer already attached, we had a lot of issues attaching the polarizer, and that was really our main issue. And after we got the 4-in-1s, no more issues with that. So we use acetone, more clean room cloths. Soak your cloth in acetone and come here and you're going to clean the screen to make sure that where there's absolutely no dust whatsoever. The clean room's been on for a while, so it does help suction some of the dust up. And obviously this thing's just used for like a stand right now. It's on eBay. Anybody wants to buy it, you can buy it. You're going to get a good deal. We do not need it. So get the glue off these edges too. Like I've noticed that the glass sometimes doesn't want to sit right if you don't. So again, just kind of down into the frame. I use a new one of these about every 2 or 3 screens that we refurb. You don't need a new one each time. Some guys say you do. I don't, and I haven't had really hardly any issues for quite a while. So I like to clean while it's in the frame because then the screen doesn't move around much. So just continuously make sure that there's no dust. And I like to get in here and look at it because I can get under the light, kind of go back and forth. Like there's a piece of dust right here. I can see streaks don't necessarily matter as much, but any dust will cause a problem. This corner's not great, so we may either hit it with some of this. If it doesn't get it all out, then we'll go back to the 82-22. This corner right here doesn't look perfect, so the corners are really, really, really important for this. So it's detail, and I'm going slower just to make a video. We can, we usually do more than one at a time, and also I do go a little faster, but I'm trying to show the every detail of kind of how to get started. Refurbing a screen. The glass is a lot cheaper than LCDs are, and you're getting an original screen back. And we all know that the original screens are way, way better than any of the aftermarket. So I'm going to grab a piece of glass. Pull tabs. Take your pull tab, put that in the corner right there, and keep this in your clean room. Don't take it out because you'll get dust under it while you're lifting it up. And I'm going to take another look at this glass to make sure we got no spots. That corner looks good now, so I don't really see any dust. So be careful taking off this, that you don't get any dust. take here and get your, kind of your hand under it, and then pull back, and then immediately lay the glass down. In there, and then I like to tap on the glass, push down, and then in the middle up on the LCD, and then you get a dot kind of right in the middle of the LCD there, and then pull this out of the frame, lift it up lightly, and then take this. This is our machine that we use. It's the ON K6 Edge by Okamaster, and we have it already set up, so all we have to do is hit auto mode, put this down, face down like that. It's an airbag technology, so it works better than the other one we tried to use. Way better. It's a million. I mean, it's so much easier to use. Press down slightly when it starts. It's going to be in here for about a minute, so it kind of tells you count down when it starts vacuuming. And then the lamination is we have it set to 50 and 10. You know, you do what works for you. That's what works for us. So nice machine. So far, it's worked out really well. We had an issue with our first one, but they were quick to send us a replacement for the one that didn't work properly. So, quick overview of the machines that you're going to need. Really not a whole lot of cost involved compared to what you can get out of it right away. I mean, you can start making money after the first couple of weeks after you can stop breaking screens, because you will break some screens. Trust me, you will break some screens. This machine is only maybe, I think it's $130, $150, somewhere in that range. This machine is I think around $300. So right there you get about $450. These things are 20 bucks ish. Tabletop fume extractor is around $50. You'll need some testers. We buy iCloud lock boards, and this, you know, these things. With all the boards and everything that we have, we probably have $300 or so wrapped up into the boards. So those two machines, you need a clean room. You do not need this if you're going to use the 4-in-1s. I recommend the 4-in-1s. They save time, better. And then this machine, and that's really all you need, other than, you know, your glass, obviously. But sometimes these 6s coming out of here don't even need to go in the other one. This one will. Let's get over in the light so you can see. There's a couple small little. There's some bubbles right in there. Hopefully the camera can show that. Yeah, there's some bubbles. Yeah, you can see them. Yep. So you stick it in the enclave. Okay, this one's built in, the enclave here. So put this in there, close it up. Make sure I got the temperature set a little bit lower. Yeah, so I like to set it around 30. You don't need it super hot. And I just hit exhaust, and it fills up with air. It goes to about 100 psi. Takes about a minute to get there, and then it kind of holds the air in. We have it set at 5 minutes. This screen probably will not need to be in there 5 minutes, so we'll probably take it out around 3-ish, and it'll probably be good to go. So this machine's by far the most expensive one. I think this machine is a little over $2,000, but it's, you know, it does a good job. It's one of the best ones I've seen. We had another setup, had a really loud air compressor, and it was quite a pain in the ass, to be honest. It was loud. Didn't work out that well. This has a built-in pump and the airbag technology. It just works a lot better. And then, so break down that, the clean room with these two machines. To get started, you're probably looking at like maybe $3,500 if you invest in some glass. Really, for a shop that's not doing it, you shouldn't be doing it. If you have any questions, you leave them in the comments, and we'll get back with you. 5 minutes. You hit exhaust on this, it lets all the air out, then you can open up the door, pull it out, and I am assuming that all the bubbles are gone. They pretty much always are. Now let's get under here and see. As you see, the bubbles are gone. Look at that. How about that? So we'll test real quick just to show everyone that this works. I'm assuming it does, because they did not get cracked during the process. I'm 99.9% sure. I did not see any cracks. You can see cracks when you're cleaning it. You definitely can see cracks when you're cleaning it if there was a crack. So there's your screen, and you can see there's some spots on the glass that we need to clean off, but that's not actually dust or dirt on the underneath the glass. So we'll let it boot to a white screen, show you guys that on the white background, and we'll make some more videos. This is an iPhone 6. We'll probably show you a video on how to do a 7, but not do as much of an equipment overview since we did that in this video. So as you see, the screen looks really good. You got an OEM screen here now, so touch is good. So go ahead and shut this down, and yeah, we'll put this in our store stock. I mean, it's definitely an OEM screen that we can use for anyone, so no imperfections. And you know, quite honestly, you can do this in about 15 minutes once you get good at it, for one. So 4, 5, 6 an hour. You can do multiples. We also have the mesh up here. We buy the mesh in bulk, obviously to save money. And once you attach the mesh, you are finished. And that's it. Again, if you have any questions, comments, leave them down in the comments, and we'll try to get back to you when we can. Thanks, guys.